Hello, everybody, and how y'all doing this? How y'all doing today on this Saturday evening? People, I was just looking at the videos in the news, and y'all know it's the Army's 250th anniversary, and by me being prior Army, and I wanted to celebrate uh, this occasion well, but I cannot. Donald Trump, as y'all know, has immobilized the National Guard, Marines, and stuff like that in California. But he's only doing that for them people to attack Americans. Y'all don't get it twisted. That's what he's doing that for. Donald Trump is a vile individual. Very vile. He's upset because there's no king rallies all over this country today. And Donald Trump is mad about that. He wants to spend $45 million on his military style parade for his birthday like a dictator. You don't see no presidents having no damn tanks and stuff going through the middle of the street, gonna tear up the streets and stuff. You don't see presidents doing stupid stuff like this except for the third grade president that we have, Donald Trump. He said that he don't feel like a king. He does. I don't feel like a king. That's because you're not one. You're a peasant. You worse than a peasant. You were a rich peasant that always wanted to get his way. You're a con man. You con all these people into voting for you, and you double cross them in less than 6 months. Just like you did Elon Musk in 3 months. Donald Trump is the biggest double crosser y'all would ever want to see. Ever want to see. And I'm telling y'all like this here, it's just the beginning for Donald Trump. Because I told y'all way back, months ago, that everything Donald Trump is doing is going to come back to haunt him. Everything he's doing. And it's already started. But people, but what was despicable? The $45 million that you trying to use for your birthday, why don't you put that in the economy? For your wrongdoing and all the stuff you doing, these stupid tariffs and all this stuff you doing, Donald Trump. Biggest idiot I ever seen in my life. Donald Trump is the biggest idiot I ever seen. And people, this video is going to be a little bit long because I want y'all to hear a clip that I got from Canada. Canada don't even want Donald Trump in their country, period. They don't want him in there. And I don't blame them. But we had an 80-year-old veteran at the Capitol protesting Donald Trump using military forces in California. And they arrested that man. 80 years old, took his walker away from him and arrested him for protesting peacefully. You can't get arrested for protesting peacefully, fool. So Donald Trump gonna answer for a lot of stuff that y'all don't even see yet. A lot of stuff. And they're saying during these no king rallies, they're saying that Donald Trump, y'all hold on. Donald Trump is a madman. Sorry about that, y'all had a message. But he's a madman. And Donald Trump is going to get what he deserves. He's going to get what he deserves because, and I had one of my subscribers, Joseph, I hope I said his name right, but I just say Joseph 2337. He said, funny bone, the problem is 8 out of 10 of my white brothers and sisters voted for this food, well, y'all know. And that's a fact. All y'all white Americans that voted for Donald Trump, y'all see what effect is having. See what effect is having? Now y'all regret y'all votes. I see all these Latinos. They're mad that the blacks won't help them, won't protest with them. Y'all gonna have to sit this one out. The black people, this time, we sitting this one out. Because we tried to tell y'all. But Canada's, I think his name, let me get it right before I tell y'all. Charlie Angus destroyed Donald Trump in a speech Thursday. Y'all, and this man told the absolute truth on everything. The absolute truth. So y'all take a listen.
Watch this clip. Received hundreds of messages of concern and outrage from Canadians that a convicted felon, sexual predator, and a man who has threatened our nation's sovereignty is being allowed into our country.
Powerful stuff right there. Now,
people, this is the whole country of Canada that do not want Donald Trump in their country. Period. Y'all take a listen.
Good morning. I am here in the press gallery of the Parliament of Canada, the heart of our democratic engagement with people. And this morning I offer my deep concern, solidarity, and prayers with the people of California who are out in the streets unarmed, defending the rule of law against illegal kidnapping and deportation, and they're being faced down by the military might of the United States Marines. We're not talking about creeping fascism here. This is full-on police state tyranny from the gangster president Donald Trump.
Exactly.
And this is the man who will soon be crossing our border to attend the G7 meetings in Canada.
You've been talking about.
I've received hundreds of messages of concern and outrage from Canadians that a convicted felon, sexual predator, and a man who's threatened our nation's sovereignty is being allowed into our country. I understand the Prime Minister Carney's reluctance to escalate the situation with the MAGA president. But we have to stop kidding ourselves, and we have to be very honest about what we are being asked to engage with.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump poses a clear threat to American democracy, to Canadian sovereignty, and to the international rule of law. And this morning, I will lay out a straightforward indictment of Donald Trump's threats, not just to his own people, and not just to Canada, but to the international rule of law. Since November 2024, Donald Trump has made over 100 attacks on Canada.
Wow.
And yet when it comes to the war criminal Vladimir Putin, Trump has said almost nothing except to defend, to explain, to write off the crimes of the Putin regime. He is doing this at the clear expense of the American people and the Western allies. He continually promotes Vladimir Putin while attacking President Zelensky, the people of Ukraine, and the people of Canada. We remember that when Vladimir Putin launched his murderous invasion of Ukraine, Donald Trump declared Mr. Putin a savvy genius. And he said that the arbitrary seizure of Ukrainian territory was, quote, wonderful. Trump refuses to denounce the murderous bombing of the cities of Ukraine, and he has falsely accused President Zelensky of having started the war. Trump has put the security of our European allies at risk to the benefit of Russia. He continually as well undermines American domestic security. When Russia launched cyber attacks on the United States, Trump downplayed the threat and put the blame on the, quote, mainstream media. Russia interfered with the United States election, which may have helped Trump get elected in 2016.
It did.
And yet Trump has blocked investigations into the foreign interference.
Because
and yet Donald Trump has been more than willing to vilify Canadians. Earlier this year, Pete Navarro pushed to have Canada kicked out of the Five Eyes intelligence network. Canada plays a key role in the Five Eyes, helping keep Americans safe. It's a job that we do as an ally and a neighbor. But MAGA has turned Canada into their number one enemy. with recent bogus claims from Kash Patel about terrorists from Canada flooding over the border.
Patel's an idiot.
So let's compare those falsehoods with how Trump deals with the threats from Russia. This past March, the United States ordered the U.S. Cyber Command to suspend operations against Russia. The United States shut down efforts to counter Russian sabotage. Attorney General Pam Bondi blocked the FBI's Foreign Interference Task Force, which leaves the United States wide open to secret influence campaigns by Russia, China, and other
vulnerable
actors.
People.
You got to ask yourself, is Donald Trump loyal to the people of the United States who elected him?
Nope.
Or to Vladimir Putin's undermining of the international rule of law? Just this past February, President Trump said he wanted Russia reinstated into the G7, and he falsely blamed Canada for having Russia been kicked out. Russia was expelled from the G8 then for illegally invading Ukrainian territory. In February, Trump opposed a European resolution condemning Moscow's actions against Ukraine. In opposing this vote on defending Ukraine's territorial sovereignty, the United States voted with the gangster regimes of Russia, Belarus, and North Korea. Trump rejected Canada's proposal on tackling Russian shadow fleet of oil tankers that are being used to undermine sanctions. In February, the United States vetoed Canada's proposal to establish a task force to monitor sanction breaches by Russia. The Attorney General has disbanded the program aimed at seizing assets of Russian oligarchs. Now, we know that Donald Trump, who is a convicted criminal, has been more than willing to aid and abet international war criminals. Vladimir Putin, like Benjamin Netanyahu, has bombed hospitals. Vladimir Putin, like Netanyahu, has targeted schools. Trump has said nothing about this. Vladimir Putin has kidnapped over 19,000 Ukrainian children, and in March 2023, the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin over the unlawful deportation and transfer of children. And yet, as soon as he came to power, Donald Trump cut funding for the Yale program that was tracking Ukrainian children who'd been kidnapped from their families and forced into Russia. In March 2025, Russian lawmaker Andrei Kartapalov called for the United States to stop sharing Ukraine with intelligence. And following that, Donald Trump obediently cut intelligence sharing that led to a series of Russian strikes in Ukrainian cities. And Trump has defended Putin's attacks on Ukrainian civilians. And he says that Putin is easier to deal with than the people of Ukraine. Let's just talk for a minute about the tariff.
People. That is Charlie Angus. He used to be in Parliament in Canada. He spoke right before the meeting. And everything that man said is 100% accurate. Everything he said. And do y'all honestly think that it ain't going to be more countries like Canada that are not going to want Donald Trump in their country? And for good reason. He's a sexual predator, like he said. He's a convicted felon. Most of the time, convicted felons can't even leave the country. But y'all idiotic votes got him back in the White House. And look what we got to deal with, people. And now y'all crying that Donald Trump has double-crossed y'all, and the blacks and the Democrats won't help y'all. And I guarantee you 95% of those people protesting are immigrants. Some of them on the deportation list, and Marca, his own people that he's double-crossed. Like the farmers that are losing their farms and everything like that. Those are the people that's protesting. You don't hardly see no blacks out there protesting because we tried to tell y'all. We tried to tell you that trusting Donald Trump was not going to be good in the end for y'all. Y'all wasn't going to have a happy ending. And look at you. Look what y'all have done in this country by putting him back in there. Arresting an 80-year-old veteran for silently protesting him. You know Donald Trump don't like veterans. That's why he's doing this stuff. But people, mark my words on this. Donald Trump is going to pay for what he's doing. And he's going to pay dearly, people. Mark my words on it. So, Pope done put it. You got a lot to answer for, bro. Because they finna slowly slowly disengage from you. Y'all ever heard of the old saying, feed you out a long handle spoon? When somebody do something to you, you feed them out a long handle spoon. That means distance yourself from them. That's what all these nations are going to do with the United States and Donald Trump. So people, I just want y'all to see this and see how awful this country is being ran by Donald Trump, which y'all already know. But when another country spells it out like that, accurately like that, you better listen, people. Better listen. And when we trying to impeach Donald Trump, they need to go on and impeach him and J.D. Vance. They doing the right thing by trying to impeach Donald Trump because he deserves it. Anybody talking about a king, anybody that don't even have a 38% approval rate, how can you be a king? You ain't nothing but a peasant. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Funny Bone love y'all. Peace.